G'day guys, Ninja. We've got Jack on the table.
G'day guys.
So we're going to do a real life treatment. So Jack has been studying a lot. He's got specific areas of soreness that he wants me to treat. So I'm going to show you how I would treat Jack. If I only had 15 minutes, we're going to do a little swap or something. So this is what I'm going to do. So like along the base of your skull and then down the sides of his spine, down here. So we're going to do some work down there. And he's also got a bit of a lower back money spot. So we're going to do the left hand side money spot. So let's show you how I'll get it done.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, so just going to go right to the spots where Jack needs it. So I'm going to start going down here. So I'm really getting in close to his spine, just where those little bits of tightness reside. It's right in close. And I don't want to miss any of that solidness that is creating the restriction. And
yeah, you can feel that already, man. That's already like a ride on it.
Yeah. So it's just important just to be thorough and pay attention to details, and that's what gets the most effective treatment done, So listening to the intel that Jack provided, so that intelligent information that his body has been given him, he can relay that to me, and then I can know where to investigate and where to work. So I'm just exploring, and as I feel things crop up, I'm dealing with it. So that's what I'm doing. So you can see it's like a snail pace going down here. But if I do it well, maybe I'll just do it once, that'll be enough. So that's kind of a bit of a little phrase I like to say all through my bodywork career, like, I'm here to fix it today, there's no tomorrow. Fuck it, let's do it now.
Yeah.
No, why should you, a little phrase I remember from my biology teacher when I was 16 was, can do is no load to carry. So if I can do it now, I don't have to worry about it. I can just help a person out. Why would I make them suffer and draw it out, So it's bullshit. Then that probably goes on, or there's incompetence, where it's sort of like, I kind of really like to help people out as much as possible and be honest and have integrity and get referrals. That's a cool thing, it means you've done a good job, and people are happy with your work and they're not feeling disgruntled or ripped off or any of those kind of things that you never want. It's sort of better to...
Effectiveness is the best measure of truth, right?
Yeah,
that's what we say.
Another one up on the board. They're around. You've got to keep these little quotes around you to keep you on your track, keep you accountable to your own standards that you set, your own truths, and what you want to, what legacy you want to leave, a legacy can be just one treatment, so people can be happy with it, that you've given it your all, or they can be a bit unhappy and not feel like you've had a crack. I might go up into the neck now while I'm on this side, so I can do the other side again in a minute. So I'm getting right into that base of the skull where Jack's been, probably stressed in here, it's been jammed up, and just the blood hasn't been flowing like it could, because he's sort of engrossed in study, and like you forget about your body really
you do
quickly.
Man, you disembody when you do it, especially when you get really deep into it, right? You get into the zone. Like, it's a thing you get when you do, when you're really in the zone playing sports and things like that as well, right? You just kind of forget. I mean, I guess the difference is when you, hopefully at least when you're playing sports, or you're running, or you're doing something physical, you're hopefully your movement's really good. But when you're doing it at a desk all the time, or even worse on the couch or anything like that, you're you kind of disconnect from your body in those situations, because you don't have to move or anything, right? Like, you're just there, and it's all cerebral rather than that. So really easy for things to fall out of place and get jammed up and gunked up and end up like this.
I might butcher this stat, you might have to look it up, but I think our brain is like 1/25 of our body weight, But when you're studying and thinking and stuff like that, it can take like 70% of the energy of your body's needs. So it's like it's thirsty. So, and like
hungry.
Yeah, it's hungry. So all that, the different glucose and things that like they've been delivered up to your brain, you know, the different oils or fats and things that it needs to operate. It's looking for that in your bloodstream and you know, through your food and things like that.
Soaking it up.
So yeah, it's an important thing to consider, like just how much energy goes into thinking and studying and things like that, preparing for meetings, whatever it might be, when you've got to think problems through, problem solve if you're a builder or whatever. Look after that brain. And like, I suppose when you're really thinking, like Jack was just saying, just reiterating, you're not thinking of your body, you're kind of just thinking of what you need to do.
Yeah, you're focused on the task, not on where you are. Or...
So you can kind of get unstuck pretty quick, and I suppose it's really important to put breaks into your, you know, like a set an alarm and have movement breaks and have eat things so that you can fuel that brain. So
yeah, get some like dried apricots or some dried mango or something. You don't want the fucking calorie blocks. It's not good for you.
Yeah.
Get some minerals in you at least at the same time as the sugar kick.
Yeah.
Like, have you had dried mango, man?
Yeah.
Oh,
I love it.
That is unreal. It's just
I've got I bought a dehydrator as well, so I've got a dehydrator, a really good one. Sedona. I'm not sponsored by these guys, but the Sedona dehydrator, and it's one that I got does you set it to raw mode. So raw is under 47 degrees Celsius, so you can kind of set it so that it won't go above that, because
it's not cooking anything, it's just dehydrating it.
Yeah,
that's nice.
It takes a bit longer, but so I'm going to dehydrate some different fruits and stuff over the summer, and been making some pizza bases and kale chips.
Hell yeah!
Kale chips are some
nice
of the
crispy.
Best things, and like you leave them a bit soft as well. You don't fully dehydrate it, and like you make like a cheesy sauce. So it's like capsicum with cashews, pine nuts, salt, nutritional yeast, you know, things like that, garlic.
That sounds unreal.
Yeah, it is unreal. And so you kind of blend that all up so it's like a sauce, and then you kind of mush it into the kale. And then, you put it in the dehydrator. It takes like 24 hours or something. But it's beautiful once it's done. So like 12 hours one side, turn it over and dehydrate the other side, the underside that hasn't had the air, the moisture dried out of it. So,
that sounds epic.
Yeah, so kale chips, make them yourself. It's rewarding.
Man, it's something that your day would taste so good as well, right? Like, because you're not only getting the all these amazing nutrients and stuff and this super nutritious snack, but you're also like you've also put all that time and energy into it, right? Like you've made that. You know, that's something you've really like committed to doing, and then you get to just reap. Like that's fucking the good kind of instant gratification, right? Like you make it and that's just bam, just delicious. Feels good to eat. You feel good after eating it as well.
That's a really important point to think. Tune in. How do you feel after you've eaten something? Or an hour after, or 5 hours after. How do you feel? But like Jack was saying, like when you go through the process, physical exertion to prepare something, get all the different ingredients together, and then you got to wait a day in this instance for it to dry out. It's the best thing ever. And what I loved is sharing it with friends. That was really special for me to be able to say, I made this, and here, have some.
Yeah, man.
So it's cool. I'm gonna come round. But that's good. So, all right, we'll go to the other side. We got. It's gonna go into your neck. We're gonna do this.
It's already feeling so much better, man. You can really just feel that all of those points are like the whole time. You're just super connected. It's feeling really effective. I can feel the difference from one side to the other, you know, even just without even getting up, just laying here and you know, being present with what's going on in my body, can really feel the difference.
Yeah. That's one of my favourite tricks is when you do one side of people's necks and then you don't, before you move on to the other side, you just get them to move, and like for them, and I love it when they're blown away with how different it feels and how crappy the side that hasn't been treated yet feels, and that's just that feedback that that I think is really important, that this is effective, this is worth going through. It's, you know, hang in there, you know, get the work done. You know, you didn't realise it was so tender and intense and sore and things, and and just how little movement you've been, you know, operating with. So it's really important to get body work done. Like every human on the planet should be getting some body work done. Even if it's 3 or 4 times a year, it's going to be like servicing your car. Your filters aren't going to get so clogged up, and things are going to be checked. You know, you got to check your brakes and your oil and your filters and your whatever suspension, whatever it is that gets checked. Your headlights, make sure your dash is working. You know.
Yeah.
So why should we treat our car so well and, you know, abuse our bodies? So
totally, and it's the same thing, right? You know, you do that kind of stuff regularly with your car. You get it serviced every, you know, however many 1,000 kilometers you need to and stuff, whatever's recommended.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I don't actually know what it is.
10 or
5, 10,
15,000.
something like that. Then you like it costs you a little bit each time, but if you don't do it for like, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yep.
We do it every 50,000 or 100,000.
Yeah.
Every time you're out, you're just massively out.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's if it doesn't fucking die in the process, right?
Yeah.
Like you might end up having something really major go wrong in between, but doing those regular things, you can keep on top of it and make sure that all the parts are still working. You can catch them before they break or blow out or burn out. Because when that kind of thing happens as well, everything else, you know, it starts to affect other parts in the car as well. Starts to wear other things out more quickly. You can just keep on top of all of that, and that's ultimately more like just easier in the long run, right?
Yep, absolutely.
It's the same kind of thing with our body, because otherwise, you know, if you're not, if you're just kind of putting up with something, if you've got a little bit of a niggle, and maybe maybe your hip's a bit sore, or you've got just like a little crick in your neck or something like that. What you don't realise is that your body's making compensations for that, to keep it in place, to keep it, safe, to try and fix it itself and to try and work it out, or at least try and make sure you don't make it worse is the main thing. But that can actually exacerbate other areas. You're going to end up with tension in different places, and over time that adds up, and then we get like 5, 10, 15 years down the line and we're like, oh man, why is like everywhere stiff and sore?
Yeah. Yeah, accumulation is a really important principle to kind of think about with the body, and like even filters, that's another good one. Like what filters do you have at your house that you have to clean, like whether it's for a spa or a pool or a filter on a dryer.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't clean that filter? After a while that stops operating. The dryer won't dry your clothes because there's too much lint in your filter.
We know all about that, don't we?
Yeah, we have that problem here. We clean our filter every single load. We don't just let it build up. Because we want our towel. We don't want to waste our time. Putting a load in and the dryer gets choked up and doesn't dry out the towels because you got half wet towels. You can't use them.
No, we can't afford it, can we? It's too big a hassle if we're not doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Just throws the whole day out, and everyone suffers for it as well.
Yeah. So clean the filters. That's what detoxification is all about. So, but we're kind of in the business of detox here. We're trying to clean people's pipes, so to speak, their gutters, their ditches, their Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So we've got a little phrase: clean first, build second. So always try and
so important.
Explain that to people. It's no use trying to build on top of a foundation that's got junk everywhere. And that's where we try to clear the junk first for people, and then we've got a clear foundation that we can build upon with our movements or rehabilitation exercises. So yeah. Been going away. I probably I'm going a little bit over time to what I wanted, but that's okay. Let's just do a good job. So, yeah.
So more gold in here than you realised, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sometimes that's the thing, right? Like with these kinds of treatments as well. Sometimes you get stuck into something and you really you kind of thinking, oh yeah, no, we'll get through this relatively easily. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on there, and then you start exploring. It's like, whoa, wow, there's so much going on there, and it just needs a little time.
Yeah.
Like in the grand scheme of things, it's not actually that long, really. But it can feel like a long time when you're working on it, or if you want to try and get everything done all at once and that kind of thing. But
yeah.
I guess that's part of the difference with what we do here, isn't it? That's part of what makes the treatment so effective. If we find these spots and we stay with it until it's gone, right? We don't just like, we're not just like, oh yeah, there's like a little spot in your shoulder there, yeah. Anyway, down to your lower back, yeah, oh yeah, and just move on. You're better now, right? It doesn't work like that. It takes time. It takes time for those accumulations to happen in the first place. Yeah. And it takes a little bit of time to get them out too.
Yeah. Unravel it.
Totally.
Deprogram type of thing. So your body has built up a story around these different things as well, like that it's protecting or it's it's making things strong. But when we kind of try and unravel it, then the body's got to figure out another way of being strong. So we want it to be done by the muscles, perhaps, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just a
good posture, good alignment.
Yeah, that's what we do. We kind of got to learn discernment, but we've also got to learn to communicate and kind of say, do we want to do this one thing well, or do you want to get a bunch of things just sort of worked, and so you kind of feel overall better, but you're not necessarily going to be fixing anything. So you kind of can talk to people. What's the most important? What's your hierarchy? So I like saying that to people. Like, you got 10 things on the list. What list? Most important, most critical, most bothering you through to the least one. What sort of won't you worry about if we don't get those other ones done? Yeah. So I think it's important that we can communicate and But I like, if there's 10 things on the list, I like to do them all. Get them all fixed. That's the goal. But it's not realistic every person, every treatment.
That's what we work towards, though, for sure, right? And it's, sometimes just takes a little longer than you think it's gonna.
People sometimes just aren't ready. Things are still raw. You got to just do the surface things. Just have a little bit of a comfort thing for them. Just a little bit of nurturing into it, but they might be a bit more ready next time. Because that's the way the body is. It doesn't. Yeah,
it's a process, right? Like. You got to, if you cut your arm, you got to let it scab over first before the skin can start to repair itself. Got to let that wound close up first, and you got to wash it and make sure it's clean and all that kind of stuff. And you don't want any nasty things getting in there, and then that process can happen more easily. If you just leave it exposed and keep picking at it, it's not going to go as well.
Get infected.
Take a lot longer to heal. That's what we're doing, right? That's what we're doing here. Is we're washing things and cleaning it up, right? Like we're cleaning first. That's really what it comes down to, and then we can build it back. Like let the body heal and do all that kind of stuff again. Comes back to those principles.
So I'm just going to get some guidance from you here, man. I'm just trying to bear in here and connect in to that lower back money spot you talked about.
Yep, you are on it.
I'm on it.
Oh yeah.
I got it.
Yep.
All right, so we're just going to stay here for a bit. So I've got Jack probably 70% pressure of what I can do. So I'm kind of staying at that level for a bit. as I can feel little things melting and reorganising and kind of under there, I'm just changing little angles and but not really bearing in any deeper, but just changing angles to try and really work into these little nooks and crannies that have been bothering Jack, that I intuitively feel. And then
you can feel it, right? You feel those little points of resistance and where the shit is.
Yeah. So I'm just sort of varying the sharpness of my elbow, things like that. Varying the angles a bit so I can just explore. You really clear, just melt this spot in here. How's it feeling now, man?
That's good, man. You got a good one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a really good one there.
Each time you get a new kind of angle, brings an intensity with it, that blows your socks off. So you kind of want to breathe like Jack's doing and try and let it go. So there's a lot of trust going on right now. Like this is a sore thing, so you're vulnerable. It's it's been niggling you, and there's kind of your body just wants to protect, So it takes a lot to let somebody into something that's sore, a sore point. So it's challenging. So that's why I've got to really go slow and not cross boundaries. And so we can be effective. We can go to a deeper level. How's that going, man?
It's good, man. It's really, really good. I feel like you can probably take it out along the hip bone as well. Yeah,
so that's where we've got to drag it now. So I'm going to trace along there. Yeah, it's like a second money spot. Yeah, I'm just going at that rate that tissue's unravelling at, and working with the breath a little, How's it going, man?
Good, man. Really good.
Just like a snail. It's going out wider.
Oh, it's amazing. It feels so good. Just such a relief to have this area worked into finally. It's like it's intense. Like it feels really intense, but you can feel how productive it is, right? You can feel it, kind of melting away those tight bits, and it's like I can feel that you're in contact with where I've been sore, right? With where the pain has been. Yeah. Like I can just tell you're right onto it. It's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm just thinking, hopefully I can kind of spit this out. It's like your brain is kind of like a remote control for me. Yeah. That's the way I want to be, when I'm treating, like I'm sensing what you're trying to get me to do to fix you.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was trying to tune in to, you gave me some information, I'm trying to tune in and work that out along there. And I feel like you were kind of remote controlling me, man.
Yeah, great.
Like that telepathy type of thing,
It feels like it. You're just like, you're going exactly where I need you to go, right?
Yeah.
Like I can just,
so
I'm like, wow,
that's
great.
Fucking cool.
It's really cool.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, that's like how I can, it's like part of, it's really reassuring for me on the table as well, because I'm like, you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not going off into whoop whoop or.
Yeah.
And you're responding to the feedback that I'm giving you, and like you're asking what's going on, and it's just I'm like it feels really good. You can tell that you're onto the good stuff, and you're really kind of present and connected with what you're doing. And
yeah, cool. Yeah, I've thought that often, but never tried to say it.
Yeah, the remote control thing's good.
Yeah,
it really feels like it.
Like a cordyceps.
Yeah.
You know what cordyceps does?
The mushroom?
Yeah. They invade like bugs and beetles kind of brains, and they get them to go wherever they make remote control the beetle or the bug or whatever to go and go to a certain spot where they want to populate and grow. Yeah, so they take over the body eventually, use that as the fuel to grow. It's interesting nature.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
But telepathy. What do you think about telepathy? Do you think it's a real thing?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
100%.
You feel like you talk to people in your head,
Yeah, but like gone to, thought about someone and then like two seconds later they're calling you or shoot you a text or something?
Yeah.
Happens all the time. We take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
Dogs do it as well. They come up to they start going up to the window just before, ages before you can't start coming home and stuff.
Yeah, they don't have a watch unless they're a watchdog.
That's terrible, mate.
You like that?
You can tell you're a dad, don't you?
Dad jokes. Alright, I'm just going to say
that's unreal, man. It feels so good.
Come out. A lot of redness in there. Let you breathe into that. So you just naturally breathe once that kind of let go. So yeah.
Feels good, man.
Yeah. So thanks today for Jax donating his body to science and let us have a bit of a chat. Hopefully there's some gems in there that people got from today. And I think we, spoke about some things that probably haven't really been able to speak about on all our videos before. And I think that was cool. So thanks, man, for your contribution there.
Always something new, right?
Yeah, it did. It was good that it streamed through when it did.
Hell yeah.
But thanks to everybody that does watch these videos right through, because probably not a lot of people do. So thank you for your support. If you can like, subscribe, share videos, have a look at our links. There's probably a course in there that's right up your alley and it could change your life.
100%.
Right, thank you. Done.
Thanks, guys.